I think from a personal perspective, digital economy is very feasible in terms of we have to be mindful of who are the majority and who are we really serving. There is a need in healthcare where I'm based. There is, for example, a need to connect, the people who will, the billion who will still not be connected to the internet in 10 years from now. And we need to develop everything by being mindful of those. And it's very much possible in terms of that. And when we innovate, it's very important that we innovate with those in mind, with the majority in mind. I think there is a trend that is driven by developing or developed countries, if I would say. But then we need to look at how can those trends, those new technologies or the innovations that are being implemented there, and what is it that we can get from within ourselves, or how can we adapt what is being done by developed countries to the markets in our countries, especially by being mindful of the people who will still not be able to access internet 10 years from now, and people who will still not be able to access a smartphone 10 years from now. So that's how I think there is the only way we can be able to achieve digitization here in Africa.
During his opening remarks, Prime Minister Edouard Ngirente mentioned about taking conversations into actions. And of course, knowing that the biggest percentage of Africa's population are the young people, including yourself and I, what should we look forward from this kind of conversations, like the Transform Africa Summit and other conversations that happen across the continent?
I think there are many things. First of all, young people will be the biggest beneficiaries of the actions that have to come or stream out of the kind of conversations that we'll be having here for the next days. But I also think we should be the ones at the forefront of what is it that we are making, what are the kind of actions that are we taking in the future, and how are we using platforms like this one to be able to access the right partnerships, to access the right connections, and to access the right platforms to be able to build what we want to build to address our own challenges. So I think it's important that the young people, first of all, tap into the platforms, tap into the opportunity that Transform Africa brings, and be able to build upon it, first of all, to address the challenges that the continent is facing, to meet and network between young people and come up with solutions that are cross-cutting across countries, across sectors and industries. But also it's really important that we are able to shape how these conversations are made and what they are talking about and how will it affect us. And it's really important that the young people like us should be there. And one of my things, I always look at what's the age range on the panels, and I'll definitely not be, I won't shy away from calling out wherever I see that the panels are overaged or there is a lack of representation of the young generations on the panels.